Tunisia is in crisis after the president sacked his prime minister and then suspended parliament. The US, the UN and the Arab League have expressed their concerns, so far to no avail. President Kais Saied has doubled down, firing his defense minister and ordering a curfew and a ban on gatherings. Troops now surround government and media buildings. His critics are calling it a coup, but Saied says he's carrying out the will of the people.
Protesters gather outside the gates of Parliament in Tunis. Inside the grounds, security forces and military keep watch. The night before, Tunisia's president sacked the Prime Minister and suspended Parliament for 30 days. Supporters and critics of the move clashed on the streets. This conflict will lead to blood flowing. People are hitting and hurting each other. It's come to violence, but why? People took to the streets to celebrate when the news broke. Many are furious about the actions of their politicians. Protesters point to the worsening COVID-19 situation and the country's deepening economic woes. President Kais Saied met with protesters on the streets, and in a televised address he said the move was completely legal. And in accordance with Article 80 of the Constitution, he could suspend Parliament. Much of the outrage is directed at the moderate Islamist Ennahda party. The party's chairman, Rached Ghannouchi, also the Parliament Speaker, tried but failed to access the Parliament grounds. He called the dismissal of the government a coup. It's unclear how the police and the unions will respond amid Tunisia's worst crisis since the Arab Spring of 2011.
For more on the situation in Tunisia, let's talk to Rabib Aloui, a journalist based in Tunis. Now, we're hearing that troops have blocked access to Parliament this morning. What can you tell us about the situation there?
Hello. So the troops block the entrance to the parliament to avoid confrontation between the two sides of the protesters, because yesterday morning we witnessed clashes between protesters who are supporting President Kais Saied's decision, and on the other side, the protesters who are supporting Ennahda party against the president. So in order to avoid these confrontations, the army and force orders are sitting in the middle, and they finally blocked the entrance to the parliament. But still, until this morning, we can see these confrontations again, because yes, from yesterday, many Tunisians on social media called for more protests in front of the parliament, especially Ennahda supporters. So even with these measures, I think protesters will come back this morning to protest again.
So the president has removed the prime minister, dissolved parliament with the help of the army. Is that really within his constitutional power? I mean, it does sound an awful lot like a coup, doesn't it?
Well, in the Constitution, especially in the Chapter 18, he has the right to announce those decisions. But at the same time, this Chapter 18 stated that he needs to consultate the president of the parliament and the president of the government, something he did not. So I think it's hard here to describe it as a coup or not, but because at the same time he met with national organizations, he has the support of the labor union, of some political parties, and even the prime minister Hisham Mishishi himself announced yesterday his resignation, and he said that he accepted President Kais Saied's decision. So in order to describe the situation right now, I would say that it is confusing. We still don't know whether it's a coup or not, because we are waiting for the next step that President Kais Saied will take.
Well, we're getting reports there that the offices of news broadcaster Al Jazeera have been raided, that state media buildings have been surrounded. That doesn't sound like a very democratic way of dealing with things.
Yes, I think this is a threat for the freedom of the press and the civil rights. Yes, it was a shocking gesture he did yesterday, but at the same time, he delivered his speech last night to assure the public that he will not slip back to the autocratic regime, that he will respect freedom of the press. But at the same time, that's why I would say that as a journalist we need to be vigilant. Well, it's a threat to the freedom of express, but at the same time we need to be more vigilant, and we need to take our rights as a journalist.
Rabeb Aloui there, thank you very much.
Thank you.